Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest, lived a little brother named Hans and his sister, Gretel. Their parents were woodcutters who worked hard to provide for their family. Despite their humble means, Hans and Gretel were happy and spent their days exploring the nearby meadows and playing by the babbling brook. One day, while their parents were out working, Hans and Gretel decided to venture deeper into the forest. They had heard tales of magical creatures and hidden treasures, and their curiosity got the better of them. Hand in hand, they walked further than they ever had before, marveling at the towering trees and the strange, colorful flowers that seemed to glow in the shadows. As the sun began to set, they realized they were lost. The forest, which had seemed so enchanting, now felt eerie and unwelcoming. They tried retracing their steps, but the paths seemed to twist and turn, leading them in circles. Just as they were about to give up hope, they saw a soft light flickering through the trees. Following the light, they stumbled upon a small, cozy cottage made of gingerbread, candy canes, and all sorts of delicious sweets. Hungry and tired, they couldn't resist nibbling on the sugary walls. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and out stepped an old woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Welcome, children," she said. "Come in and rest. You must be hungry." Hans and Gretel gratefully accepted her invitation, unaware that the old woman was actually a wicked witch. She fed them a sumptuous meal and gave them warm beds to sleep in. Exhausted from their adventure, they quickly fell asleep, not realizing the danger they were in. The next morning, Hans awoke to find himself locked in a cage. The witch had revealed her true nature and planned to fatten him up to eat him. Gretel, however, was free and was forced to do the witch's bidding. She was terrified but determined to save her brother. Days turned into weeks, and Hans grew stronger, not from the witch's fattening foods, but from secretly exercising in his cage. Gretel, meanwhile, observed the witch closely and began to form a plan. She noticed that the witch's eyesight was poor, and she used this to her advantage. One day, when the witch was preparing to check if Hans was ready to be cooked, Gretel offered to help. As the witch bent down to peer into the oven, Gretel gave her a hard shove, and the witch fell into the oven, which Gretel quickly shut and bolted. With the witch gone, Gretel freed Hans from the cage. They searched the cottage and found a treasure chest filled with gold and jewels. Overjoyed, they gathered as much as they could carry and set off to find their way home. After several days of wandering, they finally emerged from the forest and saw their village in the distance. Their parents, who had been worried sick, were overjoyed to see them. Hans and Gretel shared their incredible adventure and the treasure they had brought back. With the treasure, the family lived comfortably for the rest of their lives, and Hans and Gretel never ventured into the forest again. They learned that true magic lies in bravery, cleverness, and the love of family. And so, they lived happily ever after.